Bahrain Grand Prix, and for only the third time in his Formula One career, Lewis Hamilton fails to score points, and that means that Kimi Räikkönen takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship from Nick Heidfeld of BMW, and today's race winner Felipe Massa scores his first points of the season to move up to 6th, and BMW take over from McLaren at the top of the Constructors' Championship, and McLaren leave here, Mark, with a great deal of thinking to do.
Yeah, they do indeed. I think they'll be a little bit unhappy about the situation, obviously with Lewis Hamilton, with the slow start, the incident, and also with Kovalainen. I don't think he had a great race either. He was off the pace.
Yeah, let's have a look at that start, and Lewis got really bogged down.
Lewis got bogged down, very poor getaway, and got sucked up by a lot of guys behind him, and that put him on his back foot immediately. You just see he tries to catch up a bit of ground going into turn 1, but there's a huge melee there in the middle of the pack. A couple of guys there, differential of speed, getting caught out. You just see that Lewis takes a getaway, very slow off the start. A lot of guys there just going by him, and Lewis has to make a decision where to go on the racetrack here. He takes the inside line. He wants to try and make up as many places as possible, but he's already in that gaggle there, and it's going to be very difficult. And
that left Lewis back down the field, stuck behind Fernando Alonso, and we all feared what might happen. But to hang out the question mark of lifting or brake testing, that's a rough thing to do in Formula One, isn't it?
Well, you know, I don't know. We have to have a look at this because, you know, at the end of the day, it looks like Alonso's lifted. It really does. You look at the differential here, look. You know, they're both Formula One cars. Have both got, you know, a variable speed, yes, but that speed should be pretty close when they're both on the throttle, and you shouldn't be able to catch up with him like that. Is there any point of going away and protesting and investigating precisely what happened there? Well, I think they have to go and protest it just to understand exactly what did happen. I think it'd be amazing for everybody just to walk away from this weekend with no understanding of what happened. To me, it does look like Alonso backs off, but if that is the case, it's a dangerous thing to be doing in Formula One cars. Let's pay tribute to Felipe Massa, though, the race winner, a performance and a victory of great character. I think Felipe dealt with all the pressures of this weekend fantastically, and you know, another flag-to-flag victory like he did last year. Let's just hope now that he can carry the momentum and carry on and try and make this title work for him. We can see now from Hamilton, he's already lost the World Championship lead. Things can happen, and if Massa keeps on with this momentum, maybe he'll pick up some valuable points and start putting himself in contention. Yeah, it was great to see the Ferraris being allowed to race each other, certainly up until about the last half dozen laps or so. How big an element do you feel Massa can be in this championship battle? I said from day one that actually I felt Massa could actually go for the title. A little bit disappointed in the first couple of races, but he's come back, he's got 10 points on the board, and you have to say with today's performance he was unbeatable. Nobody could get near him, not even his teammates, so yes, he's got the potential. At one stage in that Grand Prix, all 4 British drivers were locked together at the back of the field, and inevitably there was some coming together, Jenson Button and David Coulthard. Yeah, this is an interesting situation. I think DC sees Jenson coming down the inside. He does actually fade to the right and just block him off slightly, but unfortunately Jenson's already committed himself to trying to make that gap. Just watch here, Jenson's carrying the speed in, DC sees him coming, he moves to a race line and then just fades himself back in again, cuts off that overtaking space what was available. Jenson's committed, there's nothing you can do about that, Steve, and unfortunately they clash. But Honda will head into the Spanish Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time, feeling that they're making some progress. They're definitely making progress, and I think Jenson shows the actual performance more than anything at the moment. We're qualifying in the top 10. And yes, they sat on the back there even with Rubens on the back of Alonso and the Renault, so they've definitely made some great steps. And if McLaren sit back and think, right, where has this pace gone? What sort of answers are they likely to come back with? There's no way they can sit back. Everybody down this pit lane goes back to Europe now to get stuck into their development. We turn up at Barcelona with new aerodynamic packages, new mechanical. There's going to be an improvement by everybody. And they certainly have slipped behind BMW in just about every respect. That's the biggest worry. That is a huge worry for them. All of a sudden, BMW are a power to be recognised now. They're leading Constructors' Championship. McLaren are worried. So will Ferrari be as well. Ferrari, though, seem to be in control. Terrific victory this afternoon in this Bahrain Grand Prix for Felipe Massa. And we've got a great deal of sport coming up on ITV to alert you to, not least our Bahrain Grand Prix highlights. They're coming up at 11:45 on ITV1 tonight, and they're repeated tomorrow on ITV4. But then it's a huge night of Champions League football on ITV on Tuesday, the second leg of the quarter-finals, previewed on ITV4 at 6:30, and then take your pick. Liverpool against Arsenal, 1 apiece from the first leg, that's 7:30 on ITV1, or Chelsea against Fenerbahce, Chelsea 2-1 down, that's 7:30 on ITV4. And then UEFA Cup football on Thursday, Sporting Lisbon against Rangers at 7:30 on ITV4, following the earlier coverage of St Petersburg against Bayer Leverkusen. And there's a full UEFA Cup roundup at 11:35 on ITV1. The next Sunday, after that terrific start at Brands Hatch last Sunday, it's back to the touring cars, Rockingham for rounds 4, 5 and 6. That's touring cars next Sunday.
And then the next Formula One, 3 weeks from now, we arrive in Europe for the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona. Qualifying, that'll be live on Saturday lunchtime. That's 10 past 12 for qualifying, and midday on Sunday for our race coverage of the Spanish Grand Prix. And that weekend also we'll be starting our live coverage of the GP2 support races. ITV4 on Saturday afternoon and also Sunday morning, all supporting our coverage of the Spanish Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time. Okay, that's the sport. The big film coming up next on ITV1 is Mission Impossible. That's what it proved to be for Lewis Hamilton here in this third round of the World Championship. 1-2 for Ferrari, a much-needed win for Felipe Massa. Bye-bye.